husky, I'm husky, fighting leaf and husky, I'm husky, fighting leaf and husky, yeah, that's me!
Sure, they like them now, but that ain't gonna last. To minimize the damage, we gotta work fast. This is what we gotta do to help the kids to get it. Now listen to my review, you're gonna regret it. It's husky by my side and I keep on my chest. We real bad kids movies with help from the rest. I'm fighting leaf, the kid movie chief. To give me no grief, but you're gonna regret it.
Hi, Internet!
And welcome to You're Gonna Regret It with your hosts, Fighting Leaf and Husky the Wolf. Let me tell you a little something about us reviewers. We typically don't like covering material that's already been covered by every other reviewer ever.
Yeah, think of movies like big dead animals and reviewers are like vultures. The more people pick at the big dead thing, the less there is for the rest of us.
Which leads us back to this. We reviewers don't like rehashing the same points over and over again. We like to make our own contributions to things. And that's difficult when everyone and their grandma has already made a video about something. But since this is Food Fight, there are a few basic points we do need to cover.
In the early new millennium, Lawrence Kasanoff and his team at Threshold Animation set out to make a super corporate sellout movie that tried way too hard to be both Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Casablanca.
Then in late 2002, all of the animation that they had worked so hard to make mysteriously vanished. This is the part where I'm supposed to say the words industrial espionage.
But good old Larry kept working and working, driving Charlie Sheen insane until...
Yeah, as you've probably noticed, we've seen so many reviews of this movie that there's pretty much nothing this movie can do to faze us.
So to give you all the horrified reactions you horrible people crave, we locked Jerry J in a room with this movie playing.
So all you want me to do is watch a movie? Well, alright. How bad could it be?
We're about to find out. Here's Lawrence Kasanoff's animated opus, Food Fight.
By now we all know how it starts. Old man at Marketropolis Market, who is butt ugly, closing up shop for the day.
Obscurus Lupa, in the Phaelus crossover review of this film, comments on how difficult it is to understand what's supposed to be happening here. The lights all turn off inside the store, and then we cut back outside to see an old woman hitting a cart, and then back inside to see the store lighting up again, only this time looking more like a town. But there's something else I want to bring up in this movie. Not really so much a problem as much as it is a missed opportunity.
In the movie Toy Story, they start off with the human character Andy playing with his toys like normal.
It's not until a scene or two after the initial point in the movie where we see the more fantastical elements of the toys coming to life.
But here it's like, bye old person, I'm closing up. Oh look, it's weird. Did that bread blimp just moo at us?
There's something I've never heard anyone else talk about. Here's where we see the infamously ugly character design this movie is famous for, but honestly, we've seen them so many times, we have no reaction to them anymore.
But that's what Jerry's for. Let's check on him.
Holy cow, this has got to be some of the worst animation I've ever seen.
If you can even call it animation. The technique used here to render their movements is called motion capture. It's called that because it involves real people putting on special suits with sensors on them so that computers can capture a very naturalistic set of movements.
Only in this case, there's nothing natural about any of this movement, and it was just done as a cost-cutting measure after they lost all their other animation. Also, poo joke!
Wait. Was that Mr. Clean? Can they do that?
We're now introduced to Dex Dogtective, which is by far the stupidest name given to any animal character in fiction. Being introduced in quite possibly the most graceless fashion I could imagine.
It is you, the great Dex Dogtective, who's about to take a fall.
If it isn't my good friend, longtime partner, and guy who I share a bloodstream and metabolism, Fighting Leaf! I wonder what our hapless lackey / man-childish co-star, who may or may not be a student of a certain Professor Eugene Cabbage, Jerry the Pokemon Piper J, thinks of all this.
Oh my dear sweet freaking Arceus in heaven, what am I even looking at right now?
So yeah, by now everyone knows this scene. He throws the cheese, I'm gonna kill you, pop goes the balloon, and flying sarcophagus. But did you know that this scene could actually be funny?
Here is a modest demonstration.
Hey, Egg Butt, I'm totally gonna pop this balloon we're standing on.
What? No, you wouldn't dare!
Yes, I am.
No, no!
Totally am.
Stop, I beg you!
No, I'm gonna do it.
This is madness!
Here I go!
Pop. So Dex is such a perfect crime fighter that this marks his 500th successful case in town. What's his secret?
The secret's inside.
We are then immediately introduced to Daredevil Dan, Charlie Sheen's chocolate squirrel friend voiced by Wayne Brady. How do we know he's Daredevil Dan?
I'm your best friend, Daredevil Dan.
Life is easy when you don't have to think.
There are other things wrong with this scene that people don't often address, though. The moment Dex asks Dan, that's hard to say, to be his best man before he proposes to his girlfriend, for example, doesn't carry any kind of weight because we don't have a feel for the relationship between these two.
Here it's just like, hey dude guy, wanna be my best man? Boobity hoobity hoo, and I'm just gonna assume that's chocolate coming out of his entire head there.
We are then immediately introduced to Sunshine Goodness, Dex's girlfriend, voiced by formerly relevant Hilary Duff. There was no transition, this is all the same scene where the toucan lady asks for Dex's secret to his success.
We can only assume that she was just kinda there, playing poorly integrated melon ball with these kids the entire time. That's what it friggin' feels like.
Again, there's actually something else I want to focus on in this scene. Listen to Sunshine's dialogue here.
Good kick! Way to go, buddy! Oh, you guys are doing great!
Does she even remotely sound like she's engaged in a physical activity?
She's talking like she's cheering on a chess match from the sidelines, man!
This is a recurring problem in this movie. These actors and actresses are plenty talented to adjust the dynamics of their voice to make it sound like they're engaged in different activities, but they never seem to be directed to do that at any point.
Their energy levels are the same throughout the entire freaking movie, no matter what they're doing. Facing a supervillain on a balloon.
Now fork over the little guys and no one gets hurt.
Confiding in a friend.
But do you think she'll like it? What if she doesn't like it?
Actively running around a whirling vortex of fiery death.
Socks. That's it. Socks always escape from the dryer.
Their tones may change, but their voices never reflect their activities.
It's almost like the director has no idea what he's doing.
I will say this though, the movie does reveal that it did have a huge budget here and there, most notably being in the musical score.
Yeah, check out the part where Dan ruins Dex's proposal here.
Here goes. Sunshine.
Take cover, dollface boss! He's gonna crash again!
Full orchestras cost a lot of money to hire, and scores cost money to write, so it makes sense that this is originally meant to look decent as well as sound decent.
Oh yeah, right here is something I never hear anyone mention ever.
When in doubt, just do the right thing and it'll always turn out.
Message! So we cut to a few hours later, and the sky looks perfectly identical, the scenery looks identical, and Dan's plane is still smoking like a Colorado chimney stack. That was a marijuana joke there, stay with me.
So after the famous clunky foreshadowing from Dan, the camera pans out and I just want to hold this frame right here. Get a nice long look at that ground texturing.
At least they almost know how to use motion blur. Also, now it's 6 months later. You know what that means!
Time to meet Christopher Lloyd's character, known simply as the Brand X guy.
May I help you? You must be Leonard, the manager.
Nope. Doesn't do a thing to us anymore.
But that's why we got Jerry J on the show today.
Oh my dear sweet holy freaking Arceus in heaven, what the heck am I even looking at right now?
To be honest though, both the Brand X guy and the store manager move so awkwardly that it's hard to tell who has the more debilitating nerve damage in their system.
So yeah, Puppet Christopher Lloyd is trying to take over the supermarket with Brand X stuff, steps on potato chips, you know the drill. Next!
No one wastes me chips and gets away with it. Brand X will pay.
I'm confused. Are the chips talking?
We're moving on, Jerry. This movie has bigger problems. We cut to a dream sequence and check it out. Charlie Sheen is actually changing the dynamics of his voice a little.
If only Dex's face reflected any of that. So yeah, they have to walk us through the fact that Sunshine Goodness has been missing for half a year, and nothing they've done in the 15 minutes we've known these characters makes me care one iota. Disney's Princess and the Frog made us care about Tiana's dad in less than 5 minutes, and his death didn't have to be spelled out to us so plainly either. It's almost like the screenwriter had no idea what he was doing.
That idea only gets more credible when we see the very next scene. It's just Daredevil Dan being a pig to some random lady who was probably supposed to be Little Debbie at one point. So yeah, this movie started off as a kind of exposition dump fest and transitioned to this needless padding. Wait! Go back. That is a crocodile in the cockpit.
Why has no one ever brought that up before?
Because it's just that stupid.
Could have been hilarious if the timing was better.
Also, that crocodile is one of the better models in this movie.
I know, right?
Get on with it! Get on with it!
Why no, we have no original jokes. Deal with it. The scene ends and nothing was accomplished. Great.
Then another scene happens where we meet Cheezel T. Weasel, voiced by director, writer, producer himself, Larry Kasanoff. He exists. Next!
You know a character's not supposed to actually appear in a movie unless they contribute to the plot in some way, right?
Well, it's time for the first scene at the Copa Banana, which is a pun after the Copacabana nightclub in New York because directly ripping off Casablanca is beneath this movie.
Of all the produce bars in all the supermarkets in all the world, she had to walk into mine.
Nope, they'd never do that.
By the way, if any of you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching Casablanca.
It's really good.
And a much less of a waste of your time than watching this movie would be. Anyway, this guy's mad because Christopher Lloyd stomped on one of his potato chip bags. And because this movie is trying to be as edgy as Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
You better go easy on the potato juice before you get chip-faced.
Edgy! Now comes that obnoxiously loud introduction of evil Brand X lady, voiced by Ava Longoria. And these background characters demonstrate why you do not use motion capture to create cartoonish characters.
This is also the part of the movie that tries to turn into Casablanca for a while, and we don't really have any new or interesting commentary on it.
Skip to the food fight?
Skip to the food fight. I know this fight scene was originally supposed to look a lot better than this, but I don't know if it still would have been that good. Check out this part with the not Chiquita Banana lady here.
First, there's way too much motion blur and not enough actual motion. Then there's that moment where she seems fine for half a second before her entire body language changes and she acts all dizzy and stuff.
In the hands of a more skilled director, this could have had so much better flow. Have the spin taking place, stop, then ramp up the dizzy symptoms gradually rather than just jumping from fine to dizzy. You still could have had your body actor mug as much as you thought was necessary,
but it would have had better comedic pacing and a more natural flow.
Which is especially important because you're using motion capture for this.
The point is that there's lots of little signs that this director probably didn't have the most idea what he was doing even before the animation theft.
Something else no one ever talks about would be the beginning of the next scene, where Dex listens to a very depressing version of You Are My Sunshine, obviously in reference to the missing Sunshine Goodness.
I think that's because it ends so abruptly when Evil Lady shows up again, looking like she made her gloves and stockings out of a lumberjack.
Honestly, I'm not completely sure what the point of this scene is, so let's skip it and look at some dead bodies.
Yeah!
So here's where we get the closest thing to an explanation of what these characters are actually supposed to be.
We all knows when a product loses its icon, it spirals, it goes bad.
We're the soul of our products. Without us, they're gone. Real fast.
I am so enlightened.
Rigamoldus.
Here we go.
Rigamoldus has set in.
What the heck is rigamoldus? Does he mean like food mold or something? Does anyone in this movie speak in anything other than puns?
Unfortunately, no. No, they don't.
Well, there is one guy.
Nothing harder than seeing good food go bad.
I don't like it.
This is something I've noticed from watching other reviews of this film. It seems that there's no really well understood reason why the supermarket wound up in this condition. Was it because of Christopher Lloyd here trashing the place, as is implied by pizza boxes being left on the ground?
Or was this somehow a result of the dead characters from the alleged brawl?
Will we ever find out?
Probably not, cause this movie is garbage. So it turns out that Daredevil Wayne Brady Dan is missing now too, and this is enough to get Dex Charlie Sheen Dog Detective back in the Indiana Jones outfit detectives love so much, and on the case.
Meanwhile, Lady X, oh yeah, that's apparently her name, Lady X, is stirring up trouble of her own, trying to work her way into control, yada yada Nazi illusions.
And she seems to have a thing for airing out her armpits. Also, this guy's in the movie again, falls off a building, and is fine in the next scene. In a movie where death is a thing that happens, why is cartoon physics also a thing?
So Cheezel T. Weasel tells Dex that Dan went to Lady X's place at one point, and then gets crushed by something else that should have killed him but didn't.
So Dex breaks into her apartment, they break her stuff for a while, and le gasp? She was evil? So Dex gets knocked out, only to wake up next to Squirrel Brady and a string of bad jokes.
Oh, like you're the only Ike who can rescue me, figure out her game, and shut it down. Oh yeah, you are.
Lazy joke. Obviously, they escape in a profoundly stupid way, and happen upon Lady X showing off her army of
robotic exobites.
To quote JonTron, what the heck is an exobite?
I don't know if I can cut the mustard anymore. Let's snap, crackle, and pop out of here.
Leaf, these puns are driving me crazy!
Deal with it, Jerry.
So apparently people are buying up Brand X products in droves because of some kind of addictive chemical in them. Personally though, I think it has more to do with the fact that, you know, there are so few other products left, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, there have been a couple of cutaway scenes devoted to these guys, one of whom is voiced by Ted Curry, torturing and or murdering people. This is one movie where the argument, it's just for kids, doesn't apply.
This scene with the big nose guy also illustrates another problem with this movie. In a more competent film, we would have seen the human characters interacting with Brand X products and heard them talk about how they have this strange craving for it.
Here though, we have to have these guys spell out for us what's apparently happening. But there's probably a reason they don't show humans much in this movie.
Oh boy, you know what's coming. Dex and Dan try to cross the supermarket during the day when Brand X can't act, but...
No, Larry, I am not buying that for you!
Let me out of here, she's gonna hate me!
Miss me?
No, I didn't!
They make it to the manager's office where they meet... Oh boy.
We got no new material for creepy Choco Perv here.
If you really want to know about this character, watch any of the other hundreds of reviews of this movie.
One thing we want to address about this scene, however, is how everyone ever thinks that these guys trying to recall Brand X is a stupid plan, since it would be like Coke recalling Pepsi or something. But that's not really the case.
It actually does make sense because they're not acting as their own company. They're using the manager's computer, so they would be impersonating him. So it would be like the store manager is trying to recall the product, not the competing company. Not that that comes close to fixing the movie.
Not by a long shot. Anyway, the baddies try to seal them in the office, they manage to get away, evil Nazi lady again, and there's only one logical thing to follow after this.
The French national freaking anthem.
Because Casa freaking Blanca.
In Casablanca, it was a deeply moving and inspirational moment.
Here, it makes absolutely no sense and has no context for being here and is just plain confusing.
Also, I take a little bit of issue with this inspirational speech Dex gives afterwards, specifically the oath of theirs.
Remember our oath, to protect and serve ourselves!
You'd think their marketing division would have them come up with something that came off as a little bit less self-serving.
And derivative of cops.
I understand that it's supposed to be about their dignity as individuals, but it comes off sounding wrong.
After that is, about half an hour of fighting. Really badly animated fighting. 90s CGI cartoons are laughing at these graphics.
Yeah, you've heard it all before. One texture for attacks, Daredevil Dan flying weirdly for no reason, and lots of dying that'll be magically undone by the end of the movie, and inappropriate imagery.
Being able to do fun things like eating donuts is what we are fighting for. But you might want to keep it under like 40 at a time.
But who's we gonna find to slid this and filthy slime through the...
Ah, here it is. Yeah, apparently at some point in the production they had to switch audio recording equipment to something a lot junkier than what they had initially. Now they got about the same audio quality as most of our cutaway gags.
Like this one!
Shut up, you big dumb idiot! Ugh, it's still going. Why does it feel like a welcome relief to see all these dying characters here?
In a competently made movie, this scene would be emotionally devastating, perhaps even too intense for a movie aimed at children. Here, though, I feel nothing. I have no emotional connection to anyone here.
Maybe you would have felt a little something if they spent more time developing characters and showing these guys having chemistry with one another, and less time with pointless side gags and stupid puns in every single line of dialogue!
Leaf, I'm dying over here. When the movie's not boring, it's stupid. When it's not stupid, it's terrifying. And when it's none of those things, it's just a bunch of stupid food puns that we all see coming already.
Oh, but Jerry!
You haven't even seen Dex's master plan yet.
Master plan? What master plan?
You know, the one where they disconnect the power lines that somehow exist in the city, which somehow causes a lightning storm that strikes all the Brand X buildings but leaves their own places alone because they built lightning rods out of aluminum foil.
What? I don't even...
And oh look, it's Sunshine Goodness. She's been held captive here all along.
Wait, what? But hey,
Oh no, Christopher Lloyd is back, and he's actually a robot piloted by Lady X.
And she's actually butt ugly.
Hold on, how does that work?
Also, Dex is Jewish.
Oh, please, just end. For the love of everything good and pure, just freaking end!
The end!
There you have it. A new take on an old trope of this show. As for the movie itself, well, actually sitting through it was definitely its own experience from just watching reviews of it. We all know it's bad, this is nothing new, and in spite of my best efforts, I don't know that I can really add anything of value to this. The well has run dry, and we as an internet have pretty much run out of ways to say that this movie is poorly made in every respect. But that's basically what you get when you try to force a project through when you very clearly no longer have the ability to do a good job on it. Development hell can be a nightmare, especially if it's a project you care deeply about. But sometimes the most humane thing to do is to just let it go.
It's just too bad investors will chew your feet off if you don't give them results.
And the lesson to be taken away here, come up with better contingency plans.
Guys, can I come out now? I need to pee!
I hate everyone, I really, really do. I hate everyone, I hate them like a poop. I hate everyone and everything they do. Oh, I hate everyone and you.
This movie's stupid. It's really that bad. You made me watch it, and that makes me mad. It's like a pit stain that never erases. And when I find you, I will eat your faces.
I really, really do.
I really do.
I hate everyone. I hate them like a poo.
Like a really big poo.
I hate everyone.
That's you.
And everything they do.
Hate your guts
oh,
now.
I hate everyone and you.
Everybody. What the heck is that?
It's a summons. From the Great One. This is a Patreon shout to Jordan Mathis, Steve Sharp, and Craig Palmer. Check out Steve Sharp's music at Sharp Rain Music because he's awesome. Link in the description below. Want to become a patron today? Find out how also in the description. I'll see you guys later.